how big is that say-do gap? So we used Qrious's behavioral data panel to compare actual deterministic behaviors to some stated survey responses that we got on the same individuals in order to measure this gap. So let me tell you just a little bit about the data before I jump in. What we have is a consumer network of over 100,000 people. And with those people, they're generating over 1 billion digital observed behaviors every single month. And the types of behaviors that we're capturing are things like app engagement, web engagement, in-app shopping behavior, products they're looking at, products they're purchasing, in-app media content that they're viewing, what social ads these people are being exposed to, and where they're visiting in person. So how curious are you? How big is the gap? If anybody wants to guess, feel free to add it into the comment section. So the answer really is people aren't great at recall. I mean, I think we all could say that. We have a hard time recalling things that we did yesterday, let alone 5 minutes ago. And as researchers, we want to be very accurate. And you know, we're okay with a little bit of margin of error, but what's too much? Like, is 5% okay? Is 10% okay? What if I said 20%? Well, the average gap that we saw was 33%. So we asked people to just tell us yes or no. Did you or did you not do these things last week? We asked it about 11 different categories and 7 different brands, very specific brands. The average answer, 33% incorrect. So that means that only 67% of the stated responses out of our survey were correct. And really, that's not reflective of the truth. So let's get into a little bit more. So the gap varies. Like I said, that was the average. But as you can see here, the gap goes from 51% of people down here for finance, investing, banking, that got it wrong, that couldn't remember that they had done that activity last week. And we do see, you know, when you ask people, did you engage with a brand like Walgreens on your mobile device, they're more apt to get that right. So definitely a big variety of gap here. So let's talk about specifics. When you ask people things like, how many products did you look at last week on Amazon? The answer is 96% get the exact number wrong. They can't tell you specific details. And in fact, if we give them a little bit of leniency and we say, okay, what about within a certain range? 80% can't even select the correct range. And when we talk about time spent, just as one more example, again, people can't get it. Only 10% of consumers can recall the exact time spent last week on their mobile device within a range of plus or minus 4 hours. So these numbers are really scary if we're relying on surveys and people to recall their behaviors.